What's up, everyone? Check out the Comic Outlaw on YouTube. Drop us a like or subscribe, or just hit us up in general. And I hope you're ready because we're doing Fantastic Four issue 16. The return of one of the greatest villains of all time, the main villain, the man with the plan, Doctor Doom. Oh, yeah, and Ant-Man's guest starring too. Yeah, you guys know that I'm a big Doctor Doom fan. You watch my show. But, anyways, Doom is apparently getting down on a microscope, and the Fantastic Four are wrecking it for him. Now, you gotta love these, like, big covers they do, back in the day. They would kind of give you a rough idea what the story's about without actually really going into it. It was one of those covers that you can actually make a poster out of. Very cool. And this guy is all happy because he discovered a comet. They were able to deliver a baby because of some blinding light and a bunch of other stuff. But the thing is that it's the Human Torch. And he's just sailing along, and he's shocked, a little disoriented. And he actually discovers the other Fantastic Four members, and they grow. Now, the Fantastic Four go into this tangent saying that they've been shrinking on and off for the last couple days at random intervals. The Human Torch, for example, was working on his car, and all of a sudden he got sucked into it and had a flame out of his car, literally. The thing was working out, and then all of a sudden he became short, and the weights just launched him into the air. He was hiding out in his in the rat cage that Reed uses for experiments. Sue was giving an interview, and she just shrank down to nothing, and almost got stepped on. And Reed, of course, was flying the Fantastic car, and he shrank down. Although his stretching ability kind of let him have the edge, he was able to land. Now, these are all strange events. They're just shrinking at random. And the Fantastic Four is kind of wondering exactly how. And they might have to recruit somebody who's an expert in shrinking. So they send out a little messenger, a little ant, and he contacts Ant-Man. Now, this is Harry Pym, Ant-Man. This isn't Scott Lang. And he doesn't use Pym particles right now. He uses shrinking pellets. And he puts himself into a cannon and launches himself out and lands on two ants. Yeah, I can see why they switched to Pym particles. Definitely. But anyways, he shows up. He gives them a little bit of the potion. One drop for reduce, two to get bigger. Just in case they shrink down again. Because the Fantastic Four, they either think there's an experiment gone wrong, someone could be attacking them with a wide cabaret of villains. It could be any number of different scenarios. Of course, Thing is at Allison Master's house, doing a little light lifting. Reed just comes out of nowhere and gives him a nasty tasting potion and turns him human, and he drops the piano. And this seems to be a constant ongoing theme, Reed trying to find the cure. But right now he's human. He's telling him, basically going over the results, the test, and all of a sudden Dr. Doom's voice comes out of nowhere. Human Torch is, of course, doing his own thing, showing off, cooking everybody hot dogs, doing his Human Torch tricks. And then all of a sudden the voice of Doom appears. Invisible Woman's buying her perfume, The perfume kind of like makes her irresistible to the dogs, even though she's invisible. And, of course, the voice of Doom comes out. And while the Fantastic Four is trying to figure out what's going on, this tornado starts shrinking them. And they use the potion to kind of stay a certain size, but they end up in a different world, a micro world. Now, this micro world exists in tangent with our world. It's just you have to shrink down in order to be a part of it. You have to be a certain height. And Doom is there, and he's the new ruler. And he shrinks the Fantastic Four down even smaller. And he goes on to explain that he did this to the king and queen of this place once he found this universe. He discovered it. And then he kind of just took over, as Doom does, shrinks the king and princess down. Makes them little itty bitty mice size. And he does the same thing with the Fantastic Four. He tells the men to seize them, but even small Reed Richards can still stretch. Thing is still 10 times stronger than what he is, and Human Torch is still a ball of fire. The Invisible Woman can still be invisible, and she tries to reverse the shrink rate, but she gets caught. by Victor Von Doom. And Doom holds her in her clutches. And the Fantastic Four is helpless as he gasses them all. They fall asleep and they wake up by the king and princess of this kingdom. And they're kind of in a little container with acid and metal fish all the way around. It's pretty ingenious. It's a great trap. And Human Torch kind of shows off a little bit for the princess. You know, he does what he does. Thing picks him up and tells him that he's being a knucklehead, so Thing, you know, is doing what he does. They go on to explain that Doom actually went to a neighboring planet with these lizard men, and they kind of took over everything. And he's going on to say that they're probably going to use Reed as a bridge, you know, Thing as a mining equipment, Torch as a weapon, and the Invisible Woman as a maid. You know, the King's really in despair right now. You know, he's basically given up. But the Fantastic Four has not given up. And neither has Ant-Man, who's followed them through this portal that takes you to the micro world. And of course, Harry Pym's trying to deal with these guys, but he is overwhelmed. There's just too many of them, and of course, they bring him before Doom. Now, I just threw this in here as a little bonus thing. I kind of like the way Stanley and Kirby kind of explain the Fantastic Four's powers, and they would throw these little pin-ups in every once in a while. And I know that's not really part of the story, but I thought I'd show you guys this so you can kind of get a rough idea on how their powers worked, or how the original creators thought their powers worked. But anyways, back to where we were. They tear off the acid lining the cage, like bits and pieces of it, and they make a capsule. And I guess using Thing's breath and Torch kind of blowing away the fish, you know, using his fire as a distraction, they're able to push their way out and turn themselves back to normal for the microverse, I should say. And they go on to battle Doom, and this gives Ant-Man the opportunity he needs to escape. Invisible Woman sneaks up from out of nowhere, grabs a gun from Doom. But Doom decides that he's going to take off into our world and prepare a trap for them. The Human Torch, Thing, Reed, and everyone else, they rounded up all the villains. Ant-Man, of course, is there, and they're getting ready to head back to Earth and stop Doom. Yes, this is part 1, part 2, y'all. What's going to happen the next time? We'll find out, and I'll catch you on the flip side.